Hey everybody, this is Bevins, and today I'm going to be reviewing my white sheep leather Captain America costume. This is it right here. Yeah, so first off I want to talk about the quality of the costume here. I'll bring it a little bit closer. As you can see, it's got a really good texture on it. This is the screen printed fabric, so this is actually a four-way stretch lycra, and then it's screen printed on top of it to give it a stretch. As you can see there, it's very stretchy. This would be the exact method that they actually used for the screen used Captain America costume. It's just really nice material. I thought it was Cordura when I first saw it, and there are Cordura costumes, so I thought that they had accidentally sent me a Cordura costume, but upon closer inspection you can see that it is not Cordura, especially with all the stretch, because Cordura really doesn't stretch that much. And yeah, so I'm going to throw it on real quick, show you guys what it looks like. So the way they've designed this costume is designed it exactly how the screen used costume is. So it starts off with a pair of pants, just like these. Okay, that slides on, goes like that. Now as you can obviously tell, I'm wearing a muscle suit. And that's because I'm a very skinny guy. Captain America is not a very skinny guy. So right here, it's all the things you need to get it on properly. Next thing that is up, the vest. So the way the vest works is it has a whole bunch of snaps. They come on the side, like that. Just like that. And then it opens up, and the vest comes off. So as I said, this is the way that they designed the actual screen used one. It has a vest system. Most Marvel films have a vest system that you can see. For me, this is one of the hardest parts, is putting on this part, solely because the arms on the muscle suit are so big. The sleeves are a little bit smaller. Now, to be fair, the muscle suit's a little bit exaggerated, a little bit. So usually this is where I hear seams popping when I'm trying to put it on, or where I struggle to get it on, especially by myself. This costume is really hard to put on by yourself, especially in the shoulder area, I find. I don't want to pull on it too hard because I don't want to ruin it or rip anything. But you kind of have to manhandle it to get in position. At least for me, I think that for most people this isn't going to be an issue, but for me it definitely is, just because of the exaggerated muscle suit. But it definitely helps out with the finished product. So there we go. Now, the shipping time that I had to wait for this was actually pretty accurate. On the website it said it would take about 13 business days, and I got it in 14. So that's really accurate, actually. And usually getting to Canada, these things aren't that accurate. So I was pretty happy with that. That's good. And then the sleeves in the upper section connect to the pants, just like this. Another thing that I wanted to mention was the size chart on their website is a little bit confusing and difficult to use. I found that most of it was just kind of like contradicting measurements. Like they said that the sleeves were going to be a certain length if the chest was one length and all that kind of stuff. So it was a little bit annoying to use at times. But overall, I think it's okay. So now that we've gotten to this point, I'm actually needing my cameraman to help me real quick. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is what it looks like with everything without the accessories. The first package you can get with this is without the accessories, so this is exactly what you would get. This is everything. It looks pretty good. The only complaint that I really have is that the vest is a little bit loose. But I mean, if I were to take it in, I think I would take it in this red section. I would cut the seams, put it on here, or actually I would probably do it in the back here, and then just bring it in there, because it really needs to come in a lot to give it more of a Captain America look. The other thing I want to talk about is right here. I'll come a little closer. So as you can see, this is the white section. This stuff all here happened as I was wearing it. This is all from the belt, as far as I can tell, because it's brown and the belt's leather. So I'm not sure if this can be cleaned. I'm sure it can if I were to take like a wet cloth to it and clean it. I'm not sure what the cleaning protocol is for this. These pads in here, they give the three-dimensionality. They feel like they're like a rigid foam kind of thing. so I wouldn't really want to put it into the washing machine because I'm afraid that they would retain the water. But yeah, so this is what everything looks like. Everything is pretty good. It's a pretty hot costume. I mean, I can't really properly judge it because I'm gonna be wearing, I wear the muscle seat underneath this costume. So with this on top of it, it just gets hotter, but I can't tell exactly how hot it is. The next thing I'm gonna go over is the accessories. So this right here is the harness. I will do that later. I might not actually put it on because I'm not a big fan of the harness. I'll get to that in a little bit. This is the belt. The belt's okay. It has these pouches on it. They come off really easily, just like that, which is kind of an issue because I put this costume on and sat in my car and 3 of the pouches fell off, so you kind of have to be careful of that. They do work. They're very small. They can't fit anything in it. None of them can hold a cell phone. They're all too small for that. And the belt buckle is really just kind of like, it's metal, which is nice, but it's not really a high quality buckle. I think I would have preferred something plastic that would have been higher quality. And the belt is just okay in general. That, and it also has a exposed Velcro piece on the back, so when you put it on, which can be kind of hard to do by yourself. Also, this costume is kind of like a 2-person thing for putting it on. As you saw, I could put most of it on by myself, but then when it came to doing the vest thing, since there is a zipper in the back as well as all the snaps that you need to do up, it's a little hard to do that by yourself. Another thing that I wish they had done is I wish they had to put just a small piece of Velcro on the back of the belt and like right here, because otherwise the belt goes too low or it goes too high, and it's a little hard to control it to have it be in the right spot. So that is a modification that I'm going to do myself at some point. The gloves I will do later. So these are the boot spats that come with it. It can be a little bit of a pain to put on. I actually find that usually it's easier to put them on when they've been Velcroed up. And I always forget which one goes on which foot. I don't really think it matters all that much. It's really the same. I like to put these things on the outside and have the buckles be on the inside, because I think it just looks a little bit better like that. So I'm going to do that. So put this on the right foot. Slide her in. It also has a heel thing right here. I usually put this on the shoes instead of on my feet, just because I find it sits better on the shoe. Okay, so we got the spats all on. I've done all the buckles and stuff. I'm gonna edit. I've edited it so it goes by a little bit quicker. This is kind of what it's supposed to look like. I think these are supposed to go on the outside. I could be completely wrong, but I don't remember, so it doesn't really matter. When I ordered the suit, I got the accessories, obviously, but it also came with these shoes. This was like a limited offer, I think, for it to come with these. They're okay. They're just, black shoes. Any really black shoes would do. Yeah, these are fine. They work. So I'm just gonna throw them on. They're pretty cheap, but I didn't pay for them, so I can't really complain too much. So I'm just gonna go on like, I can get them on. The laces on them are really, really long. But again, I don't think this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be getting. As far as I know, I was just ordered at the right time and happened to get them, so whatever. So I'm going to kind of exclude them from the actual review of the costume itself, because I don't really think it makes sense to review them if no one else is going to really get them, as far as I know, at least. Okay, so now what I want to talk about is the gloves. Because the gloves have a mixed bag. Part of them are really good, like they're decent gloves, and they weren't that much more expensive to get them. And I mean, I wouldn't have a full costume without them. And the alternatives that are cheaper than these are really just not great. So, but there are some things about these gloves that really annoy me. So, for example, you put them on, everything's looking fine, but if you're a normal person, you would just take these, wrap them around like that, and just Velcro them on. That would hold everything in place and look relatively fine. However, they decided to put the Velcro on this side, so you have to bring it around this way, which is weird because you're losing all of this space right here, because you're just going back around the glove to get back to this open part. And then when you pull on it, as you can see, you pull the Velcro away from you. So as you try and get to the Velcro, you just end up pulling it away further from you. So whenever you get it on, it's like that. So there's a lot of exposed Velcro, and then you also get bunching up like this, which kind of looks dumb. So I really wish that the Velcro had been put on the other side, and it's on both gloves. So it's clear that it was kind of just a design flaw more than anything, but it's not a huge deal. Okay, just gonna do this side up. I don't think I'm gonna put the harness on. I'll put pictures in the video of what it looks like with the harness on, but the harness is really hard to put on. You really need another person to help you put it on. It doesn't really fit that well. The leather is kind of stiff, and it's just, I don't know, the harness is okay. For the accessories themselves, I would say that they're probably a little bit overpriced. Oddly enough, the boot spats are like the nicest piece when it comes to the accessories. And so the gloves come in second, and then the belt, and then the harness, which just doesn't really, it's okay, like it looks decent, but this thing doesn't look that great, especially with that texture in there. It's not really supposed to be in there. This is also, if I'm not mistaken, this isn't really the right shape. It is metal, but it's kind of like a cheap metal. And then this is just, the straps are really thick, which means that they're not very flexible, especially in areas with the Velcro on the inside, which are the areas where you need it to be the flexible the most. And they went with snaps on this side, and then Velcro on this side. I'm not sure why, because I think a snap system would work way better on this side. Also, if this was like maybe an inch or two longer, the strap itself, it would be better. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it out. And this is what the costume looks like as a whole. Now it's pretty hot in here again because of the muscle suit. Not really their fault. Everything fits pretty well. Size chart's okay, it's not great. Looks decent. I think it looks pretty good. It does have pockets right here. They're really, really shallow. Only that, nothing special, but better than most costumes that don't come with pockets. That's really it. The quality of the costume is pretty good. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was inaccuracies. So personally I found about 3 inaccuracies. There's the shoulder pieces, which as you can see, they kind of stick out oddly. And if you look at the actual screen used costume, it doesn't look like that. And on top of that, this here is supposed to be a piece of rubber, but it's instead they went with pleather. And then same here as well with this section. And as you can see, one of these is actually higher than the other one. If you look at the chest here. And the other thing that I noticed is the scar is a little bit more chrome than it should be. It should be more like a matted and like subdued color, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. These ones I find to be a bigger deal, but there are places online where you can actually get the rubber that goes in here as a replacement for this particular costume. I'll put a link in the description. I'm planning on getting those at some point. When I will, I don't know. But yeah, overall I think everything looks pretty good. I would absolutely recommend the white sheep leather costume at a bare minimum. I don't know if I would recommend the accessories. They are the nicest accessories you can get for the price, but if you're looking for an absolute screen accurate costume and you don't mind spending the extra money, and it is a lot more money if you want to get nicer accessories, then I would recommend just going on Etsy and getting like a pair of gloves. The nicest gloves that I saw on Etsy were like $300 just for the gloves, and the same thing goes for the harness. Nicest harness that I saw, I think, was like $500, and the same thing for the belt, around $500. So if you're really gonna want a more screen accurate version of the costume, then you're gonna want to probably go on Etsy and pick up some of those things. But if you're okay with just having these be relatively good and look decent enough, with the exception of the harness, I think the harness just kind of looks really off, especially just sticks out in certain places. But yeah, so this is really it. This is my review. I would absolutely recommend, and I'm really happy with this.